This is another really good question. Do you think that deliberately hateable villains, Joffrey, Kaladin Hawke, the Emperor Bellos, still have a place in fiction? If so, how would you advise they be used in a story? I think that pretty much all characters have a place in fiction. I think in a large sense, fiction and storytelling is always based upon execution, not content. You can make anything work in fiction. It's just about figuring out how to make it work. And some things are easier to make work than other things, right? It depends on your skill as a writer in being able to properly execute those things. Purposely hateable villains are really, really great in a lot of different narratives. One, I think their most like baseline kind of like draw is that they keep people coming back because as a viewer, you want to see those characters get punished, right? If there's someone that you detest, like on like a personal level, even though they're just a fictional character, you're gonna want to see if that person ends up getting what's coming to them. And there's very few draws as powerful as emotion when it comes to storytelling, right? You can get someone engaged in a premise or theory or ideologies, but like all of that is pretty much second to emotion. If you can get people emotionally invested in your characters and the journeys that they're going on, they will continue to come back over and over and over again. So that's the first thing. That's why I think that they are kind of like on like our monkey brain level, like really engaging. There's also the opportunity for a lot of those hateable characters to become likable. Remember, like Jaime in the early parts of Game of Thrones was also detestable. Maybe not as detestable as Joffrey, but like very unlikable because like he just did terrible things over and over and over again for the first like season of the show. He was horrible, but then he got redeemed, right? There are tons of characters who start off just like absolutely terrible, and then you are able to understand a bit like who they are and why they're doing these things, and they come back into being real people who are rounded and can sometimes again receive redemption for their actions. Now, if we're talking about a character that literally is just kind of like bad to be bad, I think the draw there too is like, how do they push the characters, right? Like how, aside from just them being hateable, like what actions are they doing to be hateable? Like what challenges are they presenting? What goals are they blocking? Because there are characters who are really nice and likable who also stand as antagonists to others. But I do think that there's still kind of like a lot of use. And it all depends, I think, even on the nuance of the story that you're in, because some of these characters exist to be hateable so that they can inspire other characters to be their best selves, right? They are meant to be unliked or disliked, whatever the proper word is. So I do think there's a place in story for them. And I think it all comes down to like how skilled a writer is at properly executing their plan for that character.